All right, so we should be live now. Give me a quick sec. Man, we got a lot of folks in so far. We got the Jim, Powell, Alex. Hey, Alex. Hey, Jim. Hey, Powell. We got Kenny Black. Yeah, we should see Colin in a few. Let me turn this down so you guys can really, I don't get this echo. So today we should have a pretty good update. I want to be able to get all information in, let you guys know where we are. Got to do a camera check. I hadn't shaved, so it's been a few days for me getting things in order, and I should be able to give you guys a quick uh, demonstration of the multi-currency web wallet that we have coming out today. We don't have it coming out today. I'll give you a demo today. We're looking to release this week during the Dallas Startup Week. So I'm gonna give you guys a preview in terms of where we are. We'll be pushing to the internal staging environment tonight. So we'll be at the internal staging environment, and then it will go to production. If all goes well, unit test pass, we'll push that in the next day or so. So I'm going to show you that tonight while discussing some of the issues that we had on the agenda. So we thought, and this happened last week too, so I know folks are going to beat me up, that we were going to have the proposal for LPC Venezuela, but it was the case that there was a concern that I had. So I proposed that we go ahead and not do it tonight because the conditions weren't right. So we have scheduled for the proposal, the LPC Master Node Budget Proposal Venezuela, to be at Monday at 2 o'clock. I think it's best Monday at 2 o'clock. So Jean, he has all of the information for the proposals, and I think it deserves. I think it deserves a presentation on its own. So we should go from there. So, but I have a few things that are on the agenda, some things that are not on the agenda. But hopefully we'll make this a quick webinar and pleasing to the folks who did choose the time to jump on tonight. So, so with that said, we're going to jump into the few things that we have listed on the agenda, and then we'll move on from there. So the first thing is the permanent Explorer. I know we had issues initially with the Explorers going down. So it was a case that I built the Explorer and I pushed it out, and it was, I think, this one, which it's still not where it needs to be in terms of updating. MongoDB is slower than death in terms of getting but it has like all the accurate master node stats. It has the markets and everything like that. But at the same time, it was not where it needed to be. So I think we needed a permanent solution. So with that said, I went ahead and paid a one-time listing fee, so we don't have to worry about this forever. So we did it for crypto core, which is LPC CCC core.online. So this is a permanent Explorer that, once again, we don't have to worry about you guys viewing transactions ever again. You can see the master nodes, check the transactions, look at the rich list, the distribution, the proof of stake mining. It has it on it as well. And then all the exchanges in which we're listed. At this point, you see like some of the price action going on in all the exchanges that are not necessarily on crypto coin market cap. So this is a decent exchange, and these are all the exchanges on which it reports. So there's Yobit, there's Binance that's there, there's Cirex that's there, Asset Exchange out of Eastern Europe, that's X rates we're listed on there as well. We need to get that one here because I don't see it here. So we need to update that as well. All right, so that's one permanent Explorer that we have, just so we don't have to worry about Explorers ever again. At the same time, there's another permanent Explorer which I will make the official one for LPC once it comes out. And this one is coinexplorer.net, and this is based upon the recommendation of one of the members in the community, Niraj, because he took a look at a few different sites and even just some of the traditional explorers that some folks host themselves. And he noticed there's a few things. One, that most explorers are not secure. They have HTTP, not HTTPS, and then that's the case here. We do have HTTPS, so it is secure. At the same time, it has lots of information, a bit more than the last one that I showed. So let me go to just a few of the projects that are on it. Like for instance, this is how our coin will be featured on this particular exchange, on this Explorer, which I think is pretty high speed, low drag. So it has all the reporting information. I'm just using Dash as an example, not saying I'm endorsing Dash. It has everything about the coins locked, the number of master nodes, the cost. When you look at the charts, some nice little statistics if you want to get the difficulty. Or in our case, you'll see our difficulty as well. Looking at the other stats is the blocks per day, transactions per day. So this is something I'm interested in too for our project, something in terms of 15,000 transactions per day on the Dash blockchain. So we'll be able to view those stats here. So, hey, thanks, Kenny Black. No, and once again, guys, anyone can order the shirts if they like to order the LPC shirts. I have a white one, have a black one. So I'm ordering the maroons, the gray, the greens. If you want to get a shirt, just let me know. So I think over the next it's not 6 months, next 3 to 6 months, everybody's going to want a shirt. And it takes a while, about 30 days for them to come in from the day of order. So, and getting back to the Coin Explorer, so this Coin Explorer I really like in the sense that it provides a lot of the statistics that you guys are interested in, and looking at the performance of our blockchain. So, and as usual, like the risk list, that should just come standard. Number of master nodes, extraction, I don't even know what that means. Let's look at that. Oh, it shows the distribution of the master node rewards. So based upon the address, you can see how many rewards they've gotten and the percentage of rewards, and shows that distribution. I don't think this is right, really, looking at 117 master node rewards. But maybe, I'm not quite sure. But at the end of the day, it has everything from the charts, the rich list, master nodes, the rewards, the network. And I think this is a pretty good, you can see a lot of cool things here. So you'll be able to see it for our project as well. Who's hosting our master nodes? Do we have an over concentration? Like for instance, it looks like this hosting provider, UAB, hold 18%. DigitalOcean about 18.8%. So we'll be able to see all of these nice little statistics when our coin comes online. So because we told them that we had about 450,000 blocks, it said it will take a few days, and that's probably why our old Explorer is slower than death. So we can see all the hosting services here. But I really think this is a cool coin Explorer. So this will be our official Explorer moving forward for LPC. So right now, if you went to it, the only thing it's going to show you, if you did LPC, it's just going to show you that it's coming. So right now they're already building. We have already paid the one-time fee, so it's done. But at the same time, you do have this one that you can check out in the interim. This is LPC CCORE.online. So it has a lot of statistics. And once again, these explorers are now out of our hands. They're in the third-party services that will maintain it for us, so we won't have to work with that issue ever again. We have to operate lean at this point. So, and that's what we're doing. So with that said, with this out of the way, with permanent explorers, we can talk about the exchange listing. So I can talk about what my general strategy is for listing on exchanges. For getting on exchanges, I'm looking at a few things. One, like in the case of Yobit. So for instance here, we see where the market cap is 143 billion, which is great. We see that positive slope moving up. But let's get to the exchanges. You could do a reported volume or adjusted volume. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I was looking for exchanges that provided the best value. And exchanges that I have used in the past, and B, are affordable. So, right now we have to operate lean, considering that we're technically in a market that's moving sideways, not necessarily a market that's still going down. But for the most part, I look for exchange that provided some value, that was economically efficient for us, and where we do have some customers. So right now, I think X rates was our highest volume, not highest volume. It's the exchange with the highest rank that we have, but we don't get a lot of volume a volume on that exchange. I would like for you all to change that if you could. So if you're going to do exchanges, go to X rates. X rates is 40, but no one really uses that exchange. So we have top exchanges that we're on already in the top 50, but yet no one's using the exchange, probably because the rate is higher than usual in terms of the fee. But I kind of get that. It's a pretty decent exchange. So if you could use X rates, use X rates. And then the next highest one that we had previously was Cryptopia, which was around 93, 94, probably 80 and some change. Using that basis of one that would be higher in volume than Cryptopia, where we were, the one that was most efficient for us, one that I've used before and didn't have any issues with. But I know, looking at some of the reviews, some say, hey, they suck in terms of their customer service. But at the end of the day, like in updating things, but at the end of the day, I thought it was a decent exchange for us to get on. And it's a pretty large exchange too, with like almost like 500 cryptocurrencies. So we've already paid our fee to be listed on Yobit. So I like Cryptopia, Yobit, X rates, Crypto Bridge, the ones that we already have and you saw earlier. But at the end of the day, this one, once we're officially listed on the exchange and we're trading, that's when I'm submitting the Bittrex. The application is already finished for Bittrex. And as I mentioned before, going back all the way to December, they told us, wait 3 to 6 months and come back. We love what you're doing, come back. So once we officially list, we've already paid the fee. So it's the case, we're just waiting to list. So I'll be able to list Yobit as another exchange that we're listing on, in addition to X rates, Cryptopia, Coin Exchange, and a few of the others. So at this point, it's actually ranked higher than Poloniex, and I like Poloniex as well. But they are a little too steep in terms of the price point to get listed. So that's where we are. As soon as we show up on Yobit, and that's more from a technicality, just having some volume exchanges that people know about, and then presenting that to Bittrex to say, hey guys, we've done all the hard work. We did what you said to do, make progress on our roadmap. We have ATMs machines that are out, they're functional. We have 2 so far. One in North America, in Texas, Dallas, Texas, where I'll be presenting and showing and demoing at the Dallas Startup Week, and one so far in Medellin, Colombia. All in 10 months, but we're there. So with those machines out and being able to list on Bittrex, I think that will give us a nice boost in terms of giving us exposure. And speaking of exposure, I've also began to work with some top marketers in the cryptocurrency space, and these aren't just some folks with a YouTube page and they have, say, 1,000 or 2,000, or heck, I think we have about 400 subscribers. But the threshold for me was the threshold for me was that the cryptocurrency provider or the cryptocurrency marketer must have at least 100,000 subscribers, and they're active. So with that in mind, when I first got into this space, I was listening to a few folks, and there were a few marketers out there who had over 100,000 subscribers, and fortunately one of those reached out, so we established a relationship. So now we're beginning to go out and work with marketers. So we've already set up some relationships. So soon you'll start seeing some of these videos. I may talk about them. I'll let you guys know. As soon as we finish Dallas Startup Week, end of this week, you're starting to see the marketing. One of the first sets of marketing videos that will come out. It will come and you'll see it, and I'll forward it to you as well, and I'll talk about it. So Poloniex, KB, I'll call you KB, Kenny Black. Almost looking like the listing a little bit more than what it was for Cryptopia. What was it for us? It was 76,000 to list on Cryptopia, just for LPC, LGS each. So north of that. So now that's 76,000 that I don't have. And I know the community doesn't have it either. So now we just got to sell, generate revenue, so we have more revenue to pay to get on exchanges and actually pay more marketers, and actually put more products out on the market, such as our ATMs. So with that said, and this bounces off the listing on Yobit. From Yobit, once we're officially listed, we've already paid the fee, and they're just testing our wallet to get it listed, and then we're on. As soon as that's done, then my next step is submitting to Bittrex. The application is already done. So when the application is already done, and we just I'll update the old application to talk about what we've done since then, because we didn't have the ATMs in operations. Now we do. We didn't have the multi-currency wallet working. Now it's in internal staging. Well, it goes to internal staging tonight, and I'll actually just show you on my local environment what the wallet will look like, and I'll go through some of the functionality here tonight. So I think we've done pretty well resolving the issue around the Explorer. Now we have a permanent Explorer, getting on to one exchange that's in the top 100, and then using that to springboard into a higher exchange. And where is Bittrex? And I use Bittrex. I use both of these exchanges before we even started this project. So Bittrex is 61. They don't charge a fee, but they like legitimate projects. And one of the things is that for Bittrex, the legal entity would need to be in a position where it can operate in the areas in which it's proposing to list their coin. So now Bittrex has gotten licenses in states all across the US, and Texas is one of those states. Florida is one of those states. And now, being that Exchange is, which is the corporate entity that's responsible for the management of LPC, we're operating in both Florida and Texas. We can submit to have our project listed in those various geographies, because we are authorized. We have our legal opinion, and we've done a lot of stuff, guys, in 10 months. So we're in a good spot to get listed, considering they told us to come back in 3 to 6 months, because they enjoyed what they appreciated what we've done. Actually, they said they love what we're doing. So Bittrex is the next target as soon as we list on Yobit, and as I mentioned before, it's already paid. The listing fee for Yobit is already paid. Bittrex doesn't charge a fee, but yet they're looking for good projects to list. So with the permanent Explorer out of the way, coinexplorer.net/LPC, that will be the official Explorer. At the end of the day, this will be the official Explorer, but you guys can use this one. You can use this Explorer here to get all of the relevant information you need, lpc.ccore.online as well. And for LGS, your Explorer is already, it's officially working. There are no issues with the LGS Explorer, but knowing within the next 3 to 6 months, and that gets us to the issue around the dev being able to fork in, and that's my realistic expectation for the fork by summer. It will be done, because we've already started interviewing a dev. It's the case that Jean has already found a dev. We've already had some initial conversations, and we've started listing out the task orders, or in this case, the statements of work. That is all of the work that the dev should be able to do. We start out with just 3 basic statements of work. And now Jean is going through and having a conversation with the new dev to make sure that he can do the work that we're proposing in the statement of work. And I could just mention a few of those for you. The first statement of work, and I know we've been talking about this for a good two months, since like middle of February, so like a month and a half. So the issue is once again around, and I could talk about this over and over, and I know it kind of makes some folks a little like upset things hadn't been done, but this is why we're interviewing the dev, the full-time dev, not a contract dev, to get the issue done. So the first statement of work is verify or create a fake states attack, or implement a fake states attack on the LPC blockchain. I've given over the information for testnet, so that this dev can, one, actually execute this statement of work and execute a fake states attack on testnet. If the dev is able to first create the problem, and this goes back to any issues when you have bugs and you have bug fixes. So anytime that there's a bug, the first thing that any developer would ask, or any program manager would ask, or project lead would ask is, can you replicate the issue? And that's what we're attempting to do. If we cannot replicate a fake states attack, how do we know that we fixed the problem? So even though it's the case that the contract dev that I brought on, he said he had a fix. He said he wanted to bring in a separate dev. Now he's coming back to say, well, this dev needs to look over what I've done, because I don't know all of the blockchain to know that it's right. And the question that I asked was, well, were you able to replicate the fake states attack? That I get a positive response. So it was the case that he didn't replicate the fake states attack, but he did an implementation that he was familiar with, based on a blockchain that he maintains. So, and that wasn't satisfactory to me, because if you have a problem, you need to be able to demonstrate the problem before you can implement the fix. So how do you know that you're able to fix it if you're not able to execute the attack first? So if you're able to show the bug, that's the first statement of work. Replicate the fake states attack. 2, once you know that you can replicate it on testnet, and say we're not doing it in operation, so we're doing it on testnet. Then after that, implement a solution to ameliorate the problem or to fix the fake states attack. So this is when you make a fix or you're proposing a fix, there must be like a unit test. Or you do some integration testing where the test that you already have, you add that on to make sure that, hey, here's a problem, here's what we want to happen positively, here's what should not happen. And if it actually fails its unit test, then we need to go back and we know that it does not work. So that initial unit test is implement fake states. If it comes back and it said it prevents fake states, then that unit test passes, and then it can move into production. So this is what I'm used to, as a strong Python developer. I do some C++, but I'm not comfortable enough to come in and maintain a full blockchain. This is definitely what I mentioned to Vlad coming into the project. I know a little bit of C++ to go in and follow the logic, but then solid in Java, very good in Python. And long term, I want to switch this whole blockchain over to Python, because at this point there are no excuses, everything falls on me. So with that said, the dev has this responsibility: 1, implements the fake states; 2, fix the fake states; and 3, deploy it within the wallet, and write the solution and deploy it into the wallet. Do the pull request, and then once the pull request is approved, it goes through a review, and then it moves into production. And that's what the the dev that John has actually gotten, and we're going through that process to make sure that he executes those statements of work. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, the proposal for the LPC Venezuela, that's by Jean. Like I said, there were some things that weren't done tonight that I thought should have been done, where he needs to be front and center, and actually talk to the community and actually go through his proposal line by line, because there have been some people who asked questions about it. So with those questions that have been asked, I think it makes sense that you're able to see him, you're able to ask those questions. So it's on Monday. He will be the one on this channel, giving the master node budget proposal. So you'll be able to see him at that point in time. So with that said, there are some good things in the webinar, some bad things. Can't be all positive, but at the end of the day, we're making progress. So with the permanent explorers in place, the listing on a top 100 exchange in place, and then the application going to another top 100 exchange, which I think we have a great chance of listing on in Bittrex. So we've already paid the fee for Yobit and listing on there, and that will be coming soon. So I think we have a premium listing. So with all of that said, I will show you guys what's in the local environment for the multi-currency wallet. Now I don't think most of you really understand how big this is for us. One, because we already have the LPC Masternode ATMs in place. And these are ATMs that can stake. They actually serve as a masternode, protecting our blockchain. Sending instant transactions, sending private transactions, and the staking wallets just being able to confirm transactions on the blockchain. So now we have an ATM that does that. Two that are currently in production. One that's in Texas in the office, and another one that's in Medellin, Colombia. And we're looking for more orders. So hey, if you got to know someone looking to buy an ATM, tell them to come check us out. And that's what we're focusing on in the marketing effort at the Dallas Startup Week. And same thing with the marketer with like over 100,000 subscribers in the cryptocurrency space. And now we've entered into those relationships. We're going into some serious marketing now, guys. So that's where we want to go. But that we don't stop there. It's always been the intention to have the exchange multi-currency wallet to do several things. And I'll mention that. One, it's having a wallet whereby one could go to an ATM and then use the wallet and not necessarily have any fees associated with it. So, and that was one of the things that we were focusing on with the ATMs, looking at the current business model of the CoinLogic ATMs and how revenue is generated. It's primarily from right now the deltas between the buy and the sell, and at the same time it's the fees associated with the ATMs. So with that said, we don't want to necessarily chew into a particular business model where it doesn't make sense and the organization can't be cash flow positive. We do want to enter into a situation where we can be cash flow positive with the products that we have. One, with the ATMs, being able to sell the ATMs, having a certain margin, and at the same time having the wallet in place, the multi-currency wallet, where this is how it works. One, people or projects, say of the 2,500 projects, the 2,500 projects can each list on the exchange wallet on an annual basis or on a lifetime basis. And there are two different sets of fees that we've done calculations on where we need to be in terms of setting those fees initially. But we may need to make adjustments on an annual basis, but who knows? Until we actually do it. So we have just some plans in place. So, and I'll explain the background. Once there's a currency on the multi-currency wallet, they could swap into LPC for 0 fee. They'll be able to swap into the say if there's, let's say Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, they were able to come on and pay the listing fee, or even Litecoin, or let's consider some masternodes in our, or PivX. PivX came on, and they paid the annual listing fee. They'd be able to swap into LPC and then cash out on the ATM machine. So, and depending on how much margin we're able to have and operate on, we could give discounts, substantial discounts on the fees that they're paying on within the ATM. So that would do two things. One, encourage people to use the multi-currency wallet of Exchange, and two, be able to use our ATMs, because that's where you're going to get the discount on the fees. So looking at some ATMs that are currently in place, based on the numbers, the revenue that's generated from an ATM is anywhere between $12,000 and $36,000 annually, and that's based upon a fee that's set on the ATM of about 5%. So I think in order to encourage people to use the ATM, we have to incentivize them either by getting cash back, some type of cash back or reimbursement on those fees. And I think we have a model, an initial model in place that we can implement and still be cash flow positive. And the multi-currency wallet plays a serious portion of that. So you'll list, just like you'll list on an exchange, once you're on that multi-currency wallet, and initially we're doing the web wallet that's mobile friendly. And then at a certain point, we'll move to the mobile wallets, the mobile wallets on Android and Apple. I like to stay off those centralized platforms, but at the end of the day, we have to do what we have to do. So let's take a quick look at the environment that's going into production within the next 24 hours. Not actually is going to the staging server for testing within the next 24 hours in here. Let's see. I'm going to pull this version here onto here, and I'm going to quickly log out. All right. So right now, what you guys see, and this is the Exchange platform, and we'll have videos of this playing on the ATM, which I think is so cool, because you have the bottom monitor where you conduct a transaction, and then the top monitor is for advertising. So we'll have a demo of the platform, the Exchange multi-currency wallet, and we'll have a demo of actually going through and making a purchase on the ATM. So I think on this one, let me get my phone. We set up the 2FA, or two-factor authentication. I thought that was, yeah, man, it's been a rough week, dog, man. There was Mentos. Right now, I'm considering Mentos. After looking at the exchange that we had in the Discord channel, I see him kind of like it's comedy relief. But I had to lean in for a little bit. But for the most part, I like where we're going, and you guys should get positive around this too. So hold on, give me a quick second. I have to pull up my phone. So it was important to be able to set up the two-factor authentication. I think most projects that is the case. You should have 2FA set up. So right now, this is a Django environment that we have here, and I'm going to put in my credentials. Here's one of my credentials here, and I had to do multiple accounts. So right now I'm gonna log. Well, first you had to register, and you could go through the process, get your username, your address, your password, and then confirmation. But if you go through that process, after that, you get your email, you come on, and now you're on the platform. So that's signing in, that's registering. But then let's go ahead and do the login. I'm gonna do the login, and I've already set up 2FA. And with 2FA, you gotta have your token. So you gotta either have your Google Authenticate. This is a time-based one-time password. And then right now I have my little account here. I'm gonna put in, let me get my thing here. Here we go. My Google Authenticator. And just to let you guys know that it's real. This is my, as you can see, my little thingy here. So don't try to go in and log in someplace. That's why I like moving it really fast. I know somebody's going to pause and try to go in, but no, anyway, it changes every 30 seconds. But no, you can just see them here, all the places that I'm on. But anyway, I scroll, and then I get my 2FA for our little exchange account, and I think you could probably see that. So here we go. I'm going to put in my token. And you all have to do this too, like you do on the exchanges, and I think it's only safe. I'm doing all this talking and time is running out. 1 0 7 3 3 6. Oops, that my bad. 3 3 6, and then verify. Now, we just made it through two-factor authentication. So now we're on the platform, and as I mentioned earlier, you have the wallet, you have XPay, Xert, Expose. We're not releasing that just yet because that's for the APIs, and we got to find a way to really monitor the number of hits that a computer can have on our box or cluster of boxes. So, and then we have settings. So now we go into where the settings are, and I'll explain each one of these tabs so that you go through and you have an idea in terms of what we're doing. So there's the password, and obviously for obvious reasons, this is where you change your password if you feel compromised in any way and do your settings. Personal information. At this point, I didn't want it to be too intrusive in terms of what we capture in personal information. Personally, if it were up to me, but I know some people like to have some level of sense of you keeping track of who's on your platform. I just have your first name, your last name, and your phone number. If you like to use your private key for your, not private key, but your public key, first name and public key is your last name. I think I put it where it's long enough where you could do that. But then you also need to have a phone number at some point if you're, and we haven't put the SMS-based authentication in place, but that will come at a later point in time. But we do have the two-factor authentication using the Google Authenticate. So after you put in your personal information, then there's your encryption key. So a form, because I already have this account that's already in place, you would need to create another passcode to create your PGP or pretty good privacy. That's like a little encryption program. It's an open source encryption program, and it's one of the very few encryption open source encryption programs where you can't break it with a supercomputer. So that's why I think it's cool where you have your fingerprint, you develop another passphrase different from your login, where you can have some security around your encrypted messages that you're going to be seeing back and forth. And I'll show you what that is in a few. But say for some reason or another you can't remember your passphrase and you want to delete your fingerprint and your PGP encryption. So cool. All right, see you later, Jim. But for the most part, now you can delete your encryption key, and that's something that you can do as well. Like I said, if you forget your passphrase. At the same time, you have two-factor auth. So now with your two-factor authentication, you go ahead and you scan the code, and somebody might scan the code now and try to set up their form. But once this goes, and this is on my local, which is going to the internal staging tonight to test, but it's fine. It doesn't matter if you scan it or not. But then you put your token in, and if I wanted to disable it, you have to click this button, confirm device for disabling it, put it in, and it authorizes it, and then you disable your two-factor auth. So let me just go ahead and do that now so you see that functionality, because I think security is very important, but you guys need to know in advance. So now with that said, I'll go through and I'm going to disable my two-factor auth and put it back on. Let's do this. 5, 2, 4, 9, 4, 8. Uncheck. I'm going to uncheck the box. Now, 2FA has been disabled. Now you want to come back on. You want to put it back in. You check it and say, now if you want to enable two-factor auth, scan the QR code, check the confirm box device, and then enter the code. So now I'm going to enter that code here. Go here. Submit. Now I enabled it back again. So now once you set up, and I think this is important, once you set up your fingerprint, once you set up your two-factor auth, you have the devices, or you have some tools where you're able to, one, verify or keep your account safe, one, and keep your messages private, two. That's why PGP encryption is like so important. So these are just why I wanted to emphasize it first. But now we go to the wallet, and these are just some just current things that I've built in place here. So checking out your balances here, you can go through and you can update your balances. So I just put some funds in each of the accounts just to do the little test here. So you update your balances, and then you can look at your transactions, whether it's LPC or LGS, do your search. And right now it comes back with the last 100 transactions. So you could cut and paste those transactions. And it even shows the moves that you're doing in the on the platform as well. So if you're sending funds to somebody on the platform just using their Gmail address, it's going to just show their Gmail address. It's going to show their email address. So that's how it's configured. Even though this email address has one or more public keys associated with it. So now you can see the previous 100 transactions. So now for XPay, I did a couple things, and this is the first version, so just bear with me. It looks like I'll have to make some edits later on down the line with adding in React. So I'll be adding in React to Django, so you have something that's very interactive. But this is it's going to be web-based, mobile friendly. So it's going to adjust to your mobile phone depending on what type of device you have, and then you could input your QR code from your phone. Take a little scan of your QR code, push it up, or just use your phone to scan, and then at that point be able to, that address will populate here, and then you can send currency to one person or another. With that said, that's on the XPay, and now with the API you can be able to automate how you send funds to folks. Now with Xcert, let's move back onto this, and this is where I actually go through and do a quick demo. So with Xcert, you can pick the certifying chain. Now, right now we only have 2 blockchains on it at this point, but just imagine having 100 blockchains for whatever coin would be on. Right there is 2,000. So if we get 100 using our multi-currency wallet, I think that would be great, because they could swap in the LPC and cash out on any of our ATMs as our ATM network grows. So now that we're here, say I want to send an encrypted message, say, and I'm going to put saying and I'm going to send some crypto at the same time. I'm going to send this person, or well, this email address, I'm going to send them 10 LPC, and I'm going to send a message. So I'm going to say, hello, bud. I'm sending you 70 cents. I think 80 cents now. Let me do this. 80 cents. Let me see. Did I close out that page? I did it. But right now it's not showing the excerpts. I think you guys should be seeing. I'm going to close out of this one because it looks like the screen is not showing right. Yeah. I'm going to take a quick pause and just wait to this to catch, because something has happened where I'm not seeing the screen in the feed. That's odd. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's just lagging for just a tad bit. Yeah. All right. So it looks like there's a lag. But yeah, we're going to go through, and then I'm going to say I'm sending you 80 cents, but I want to encrypt that message. Okay, you all can see it. Cool. All right, so I'm sending you 80 cents, and tell your mama I said hello. But I want to encrypt this. But at the same time, I want to certify it on the LPC blockchain. So now I'm just going to put in some credentials. The passphrase from the PGP encryption, your PGP encryption passphrase. I'm going to put that here. And then I'm going to send the verified message. So I sent that message, and once again, this registers the message on the LitePayCoin blockchain, and at the same time, it actually encrypts the message and sends and puts the message on a permanent data store, IPFS. So now we've sent this. Let's go and I think we should not really. This address is like my address, so we should be able to see it here. I'm going to go to make sure that we received the funds. Looking at the last transaction there, do a search, and I should have seen. Yeah, so it took out 10 and it's sending 10, but it hadn't registered just yet. But let's go here. Go to excerpt and let's view the message. So we're going to view the message. It was encrypted, and I'll press view. So now we're in the viewer where all the messages are. So at this point, this is the message that I just sent, and this time that's posted here is the time of the wallet or the daemon that's registering the messages on the blockchain, not necessarily my local time. So say if I forgot the passphrase and I wanted to view the message, and I notice it's encrypted, and I press it here, I see nothing, because that's the case that I don't have the passphrase. It says it's encrypted, and here's the pointer, and this is basically the address. So I'll just go back, and then I'll look where it is on IPFS. If I look at it on IPFS, once again, this is the encrypted message, and you can't, even if you put a supercomputer on it and you try to break the encryption on this, you're unable to do it. So I think it's absolutely wonderful to have. But I'm going to put in my passphrase now, so I can see the message that was sent. So decryption was okay. Now, this is the LitePayCoin blockchain, and this can be any blockchain. And once again, this can be done programmatically. So you see who it's from, and then once again, I sent it to my email, so it just sent it back to myself. Hello, bud, I'm sending you 80 cents, and tell your mom I said hello. So that's the message that's encrypted in that the posting that's on IPFS. And then here's the signature validating this message. So this address, the private key associated with this address, was used to create this signature. So anybody could go into their wallet, their LPC wallet, put in this message here, and then drop in this from address, and then look at and put in the signature to tell if it's a valid message. And then here's the associated transaction ID, the ID that's associated with the message being sent. So right now, I don't think there are any projects out there with wallets that are encrypted, where you can send encrypted messages or PGP encrypted messages, post it to a particular block, post it to the any blockchain of interest or their particular blockchain, and at the same time have those messages registered on IPFS. They're stored on IPFS, registered on the blockchain, and certified by the private key associated with the public key. And at the same time, if you wanted to export your PGP encryption information and then just take your links and move out of, say, the platform, you have all your you have the link to where your data is stored on IPFS, and then you just need your public and private information from your PGP keys, and then you can decrypt this message anywhere. So you'd have to find a couple different applications to do it, but it's the case that you have you're able to leave the platform and take your public keys, your private keys, and your data with you. So this is something that's giving a lot of power back to you, the user, where you can control your data, you can control where it's seen, you can control who sees it. So right now, like I said, it's just registered. It's registered on IPFS, but it shows on the exchange.tech. So now go out. Anyone can go out and go to IPFS and take this Q or take this pointer and just go to the IPFS, put in this key, and they can see the same encrypted message. So now it's all across the IPFS network. So now you have encrypted messages that sit across the net, but they're encrypted and they're just sitting there, so it's not on just one system. But yet, if you just wanted to look at unencrypted messages or messages that are not encrypted at all, once again, you just do that search or just put in whatever criteria you'd like, and then you just click on the message. You don't necessarily need to, my bad, I didn't select the message. So you select the message. Let's go down, let's find something here. You just select the message and you're able to see so right now, like here, this is a message that I made in public. I said, Abrams spilling his guts on U.S. strategy in Venezuela. I'm interested in Venezuela. So this is like a little public key link. People can like view it on IPFS. So go back here, click on the link, and this is sitting all on IPFS, and it takes just the logo of the blockchain, it places it on IPFS just to let folks know, hey, this is on the LitePayCoin blockchain, but it's registered on the LitePayCoin blockchain, but at the same time, it's posted on IPFS. So it's a permanent data store, and you don't necessarily have to use Exchange Tech. Once again, you can just go to IPFS and put in the link, and you can just find that as well. So right now, you've seen the wallet, you've seen being a search transaction, you'll be able to see the balances, you saw XPay, how we were able to send it. Right now, able to upload the QR codes from your phone, like when you're scanning a QR code. Right now, that has about a 10% accuracy, so that's why I'm at a later point in time, but I'm not going to do it now. At a later point in time, we're going to switch to React, so something where it can react natively with any mobile device. On Android, you look Samsung or Apple, and it's going to be able to detect it. But right now, just set your phones when you scan a QR code, and I'll demo this and I'll put a video out. Yeah. So that's there's another tab within Xcert. There's certified messages and certified documents. Right now, and this is what we have to, I have to consider now. In the servers that we have out for both IPFS and the servers that we have for the exchange, the multi-currency wallet, we could only have so much space there. At a later point in time, and maybe that's the premium service where you're paying for space, and you pay in your particular coin. So we can already upload files, and we can push those files to IPFS, and we could register them on a blockchain. But the issue becomes for us now, in the set of IPFS servers that we have, we only have so much space. Even though we're getting large servers, I don't want people pushing up entire movies, entire dissertations, or like their family history, or some trilogy like Harry Potter book, and then post it to IPFS, and then it's sitting on our servers and it's taking up a lot of space. So right now I'm doing it where you could just put in a very long message. I'm thinking about maybe 2,000 to 3,000 characters in this message box so far. So you could send a message. Say for instance, you got a book you want somebody to proof, and you want to send them crypto at the same time. So you want to send the crypto and the book. So you send the book for them to proof, and you're sending them crypto. They receive the crypto and the message at the same time. I think this is powerful once we open up Expose. Once we open up Expose, what Expose allows you to do is someone or company or any individual, if they're able to access the application programming interfaces, they could put plenty of documents, all say I'll say based on the Internet of Things, where it's a machine is monitoring another machine and telling what the machine is doing, but posting it on IPFS in an encrypted way where anyone else could come in if they have a passphrase to decrypt that information that's based on the internet. It could be another system, it could be another machine with a passcode to read that data and pull it out. So now we're getting ready to move into the Internet of Things, where data is all over IPFS. And then it's just a matter of the two devices that can both read, post, send crypto automatically, and another machine that accepts, once it has, say if there's some type of smart contract in place, where it accepts the crypto and it says, yes, I do have the crypto. Now go out, read the message, decrypt it, and execute. Not having to do this through desktop wallet, just straight from the platform, is a game changer. Yeah. So and right now, I built this in Twitter Bootstrap, so it is reactive to the mobile device that you're on. So I agree with you 100%, Powell. If we're able to get people to use the mobile device, they could send money to anyone around the world and a message at the same time. And that person, the other person, if they have a mobile device, just goes to ATM. Say if they're even in another currency, they're in, say, PivX, or in Dashed, or they're in the esports coin, or CSPN, or heck, just choose any coin of your choice. Instantly receiving a message, being able to go to the ATM, swap for 0 fee. Oh yeah, bruh, if you could come in because right now and this is why I mentioned earlier, I'll need to go into and more than likely we'd have to use, and I'm moving into React, so it'll be Django and React. So the Webpack, right now I'm doing the integration with the Webpack, so it would have React, and a little bit we'll open up the APIs on the back end so we can have that front end interactivity. But yes, it does need some CSS loving, but this is MVP, Powell. Right now, it needs a little bit of work. If you want to come help me, let me know. If anybody wants to come help, let me know. And this is for the people in the community. If you're interested as well, we'll be having, if you're bringing in another coin, or you're going out and you're bringing coins to list on the platform, there's a commission for you as well. So we're thinking about maybe 10% commission for anyone who's bringing another project that wants to list their coin on the multi-currency online wallet. So, and once again, those wallets, they get 0%, zero fees for swapping, and they get reduced fees at the ATM, so they get some money back, kind of like the banks, what they do with the cash back. And how they refund. I know with my bank, USAA, if I go use an ATM, because they don't have their own ATMs, they refund the ATM fee. So that's the model that we're moving into, that after analyzing what the ATM market is like right now and how current cryptocurrency ATM models are in place, we don't necessarily want to stifle it, but want to help assist it in a way. And I think we can, in the sense that we do have the wallet, the exchange, the LPC exchange wallet, in addition to the ATMs in place. So, and the project owners that I've talked to so far, they really like it. They appreciate it. And some, I think we have maybe 3 to 4 projects already to come on board, in addition to the chains that the blockchains that we have right now. Only LPC and Logis, but as I mentioned, Logis is going to be merged. I'm looking at like middle of the summer, so that's going to disappear. But we have the other projects on. That's why this platform is called X Chains. Not one chain, not 2 chains. My favorite rapper, so I'm on a plane. But anyway, get multiple chains on board. So maybe one day we could have X Chains, not X Chains, but 2 chains come and give us some marketing for our product if we get it in shape. But yeah, this is the MVP. This is what's going to production. Let me know what you think, guys. I'm open to like some of your thoughts on where we are right now. So I got need some CSS loving for sure. And I'm not a solid front end guy, but I'm a heck of a middleware back end for the most part. So let me know. So this is all that I have. As soon as I get off this line right here, even their default component styling is aesthetically pleasing. Happy about that. Yeah, I am too, man. I've stayed away, or have I could do a little bit of JavaScript, not as solid as I need to be, but for the most part, I'm killer with Python and Django, and particularly Anaconda, because that's from the scientific perspective. I'm a scientist. But so it naturally works for me. But I do think we can make this into a kick-ass site, where we can have every project just clamoring to just say, "Boom, let's get on the multi-currency wallet, because we get 0 swap outs in the LPC. Then at the same time, get reduced fees on when we go to the ATM to cash out." That's cool. It's a great thing. At Dallas Startup Week this weekend, there's going to be a gaming tournament, esports gaming tournament, I think on Wednesday. And then I'm going to show up and I'm going to tell them about where we are, as well, even some of our other projects in terms of what they've done, and see if we can integrate the blockchain tracks in the blockchain tracks and the esports tracks, because I think they go hand in hand. But that's where we are. But give me some more reactions, guys, where you are. I really like Django in place. It's a very solid framework. Then at the same time, as a matter of fact, Coinbase is 100% Django. So I'm sorry, I just got in. Any news about the dev and the joint of LPC and LGS? And Andre, yeah, and we already started interviewing a dev. We already have some statements of work out for that dev to accomplish, so he knows what he's doing for the next few months to come on as a full-time developer. So Jean has already found him, and he's going through that process of going through those statements of work. And I mentioned those earlier, so you could just do a rewind and come back in. But for the most part, just to give a quick summary, we've already paid our listing fee for Yobit. After that comes out, then we're immediately putting our application for Bittrex, show them the progress that we've made. Then at the same time, we do have an official explorer that's on coinexplorer.net. That's going to be our permanent explorer. There's another one that's out too. This LPC Ccoin online. I'll post it at the same time. I'm showing the wallet, the web multi-currency wallet that's going into production. The multi-currency wallet that's going into actually our internal staging. So once the unit tests run and we pass unit tests, hopefully it'll go through no issues. And then we push to production, because this week we're at Dallas Startup Week, and every event that we're at, I'm telling folks, get an exchange wallet. Get an exchange wallet. Come by our booth. Come see the ATM. Come see the demo. Come see the videos that we have playing within our ATM. So now the LPC ATM will be there. We'll have the multi-currency wallet, and I don't think nobody can kick our ass at this point. So it's just a matter for us to just start marketing. And at the same time, we started working, or we've just entered into a relationship with some internet marketers, like one mentioned before. One I actually, I'm subscribed to his channel, and was when I first got into the space, over 100,000 subscribers. He's just going to start pushing all the great news that we're pushing out, guys. So I'm excited, and I think you should be too. And let's push it up, man. And only nine watching and 1 thumbs up. Maybe this is not the thing to be, but oh, crap! And I actually cut my finger trying to respond to you, Powell. So we're there. We are absolutely there. So this week is a great week. I'll keep you guys updated in the Discord in terms of what we're doing, and at the same time, we're going to officially move to one where we do have ultimate control of the owner control of the Discord channels, and just moving away from Discords where we don't have owner control of the channel. So we need to centralize. I hate to say centralize, but centralize that point. And Powell, trying to respond to you, I cut my finger, but that's okay. We're in a good position. All right, guys, it's 9:36. Been on here an hour some change. We will touch base, and as the good news starts pouring out, I'll start pushing in. Y'all have a good weekend, and we will talk. Right now, I'm jumping on this code, and I'm pushing it over to pushing it over to the internal staging environment. So hopefully testing will go well over the next few hours, and then we'll be in production. If y'all know of any coins that want to list, just start reaching out to them. We're giving commission for you guys. All right. Thanks for your time, and y'all take care. Hit the thumbs up, and at the same time subscribe and tell folks about our channel. Take care.